morning.
Oh, good morning. You are the new staff member, right?
Exactly.
Welcome to the kitchen. So we are going to start our staff training video to explain the rules that are present in the professional kitchen. So the first step, each time you enter the kitchen, the first step is wash the hands. So when we wash the hands, the first step, so we put water, we rinse our hands, then we put soap, and we really have to go between the fingers everywhere. We can go even a bit on the wrists and clean them. And so once you're done, you can take a piece of paper to dry your hands. And don't forget to always put it in.
Start.
And then when we are done, put it under our fold so that it doesn't disturb us while we are cutting or things like that. And then this item, we can put it here in the line like this. We are all good. So now I am going to talk about the use of these three items. So first of all, the use of the hat is to allow the food to be more safe, because sometimes when we don't wear the hat, some hair can fall into the food that we are plating or cooking, and these hair are not always very hygienic because there can be contaminants or things like that. Then the apron is also very useful because sometimes when we get a finger dirty or something like that, we can wipe it on the apron, and it also allows us to keep our pants safe. And finally, these items allows us to pick food. So this item, so of course for plates that are coming out of the oven that remains very hot, and also even when cooking, sometimes we can use it when an item is hot, for example, to cook or things like that. So it's very practical. Okay, so now we are going to learn more about the colors of the cutting boards. So these colors that each cutting board has is very important, because we use a different cutting board for each type of food that we are cutting on it in the kitchen. So first of all, this cutting board is used for red, we use the red knife. Then the blue cutting board is used for fish and seafood. Then we have the brown cutting board that is used for cooked meats. Then we have the white cutting board, which is used for basically fruits and pastry. Then we have the red cutting board, which is used for raw meat. After we have the green cutting board that is used for all vegetables. And finally we have the yellow cutting board that is used for poultry. So if you have any issue the importance of these colors, we have in the kitchen a table that is basically a summary of these colors. And so this is very important because it avoids any type of contaminants going from, for example, poultry to another type of food, and avoids cross-contamination. Okay, so now Andre, we're going to learn more about the types of knives that we can use in the kitchen. So we have a lot of different knives that are used obviously for different uses according to what we want to cut. So first of all, we have here the demi-dove knife that we can use to cut, for example, zucchinis or any types of vegetables, and so it gives that aspect on the cutting that is very nice. Then we have the Parisian melon baller, which is obviously used to make little balls of vegetables, which can be very useful, that we can use to cook in syrup or things like that. Then we have the paring knife that can be used for whole small cuts or decoration. For example, on the beef Wellington, we can do decoration with this knife. Then we have the filleting knife. We can see that it is a filleting knife because of its shape, and also because of the fact it can bend very easily. So this knife is used to take out the fillets of the fish, for example, the sole, or also other types of fish. Then we have the bread knife, so we can see that it has these shapes, and so it's very useful. We use it like this on the bread. Then we have the chef knife, so we have the little and the big chef knife, which is the knife we use the most. So usually it's just according to the
few moments later.
So then we have the chef knife. So we have two types here, two examples. The little and the big chef knife, so very easy. So we use the little of the big chef knife according to the fact if we want to do thin slices, we will use this one. Or if you want to do really basic cutting, for example cutting vegetable for a bouillon, so really large slices, we can use the big one. And finally we have the boning knife that we can use obviously to cut meat, to take out the bones. For example, when cutting a chicken, a roasted chicken after the cooking process, this kind of knife is very useful. So here are many examples of all the knives we use. And so yeah, as I already told you, the chef knife is the one we're going to use the most. Okay, so Andre, now we are going to learn how to organize our workstation to work properly and efficiently. So first of all, we have to put anti-slippery cloths under our cutting boards, because here, if you see, when we cut it can slip. So we have to put 4 of these so that the cutting board doesn't slip. So then we can use this kind of white recipient to put all our trimmings, for example peeling vegetables or unwanted parts of meat or things like that. We can put everything in here. So then we can also sometimes use the gloves. For example, when we are cutting raw fish or things like that, so that the hygiene doesn't affect the quality of the fish. Or for example, if we cut sushi and then put it in another plate, we can use these gloves to keep the workstation very clean. And so also, when you are finished with your workstation, you should always keep your space clean. So for example, if you spill some things here, you can always use some paper to clean after, because it has to remain clean after your passage. So now we are going to learn how to cut properly a vegetable and how to cut it on our workstation. So first of all, we can take our knife, and so for example here I will cut it in half and remove these parts. And for example, these parts can go in our trimming baskets as well as the skin. And so now to cut properly a vegetable, we have to put these 2 fingers here to keep what we are cutting stable, and then these 2 fingers, and we have to bend them so that, because if we put them like this, we are going to cut ourselves. If we put them like this, we can put the knife like this, and then we can start cutting like this. And so if anything happens with your finger, so if you cut your finger, so if sometimes it can happen in the kitchen, if you cut your finger or a part of your skin, first of all you have to apply some disinfection to make sure that your wound stays clean, and then we can add 1 dermaplast on the wound, and over the dermaplast we can put one thing like this, so that you can continue to work properly without the blood going in the food you are cooking. And also, if sometimes you can get burned on the hand, you can apply this gel on the burn so that it remains safe and clean. So thank you, Andre, for coming to the kitchen for your staff training. So tomorrow will be your first day in the kitchen. So I hope you understood everything, and see you tomorrow. Thank you, chef. Thank you.
1 day later.
So thank you, Andre, for coming. So congratulations because you passed your exam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.